joining us now is Eric De Torres, Political Science Professor from the University of the East. Professor De Torres, welcome to Political Beat.
Maraming salamat po sa inyo, Sir Lord, at sa mga nanonood at taga-subaybay ng inyong program.
Alright, magtubig muna tayo.
Tubig.
Alright. So, nagulat ka ba doon sa nakuhang mga numero ng presidente? O expected na ito?
Well, expected na ito. And habang tumatagal, nakikita natin yung continuous decline simply because hindi na-address yung mga importanting issues eh. Una, from the flood control. Secondly, pagdating dito sa oil crisis. And thirdly, ito yung impact na nangyayari dito sa inflation. So, itong tatlong major events na ito continues to haunt basically the president that significantly affect his performance. And yun din yung hinahanap ng mga tao, Sir Lord. Yung nasanay tayo for the past 6 years na nung panahon ni FPRRD, head-on, very decisive. Ngayon, in all of this political turmoil, wala ka masyadong makukuha or makikita from the president na talagang explaining this and that. Siya yung talagang nagtitake lead. So perhaps it could be leadership style, it could be a different management style, but people really wanted to hear concrete plans of actions. Lalo na ang bigat nitong kinakaharap nating crisis beyond the politics, yung crisis in terms of the economic and of course the social issues na kung saan talagang tumataas na yung presyo ng mga bilihin, pahirap ng pahirap yung buhay ng mga tao, food security issues. So it's a combination of all sorts. And ang makikinig at maririnig mo doon sa mga beat na manggagaling sa Malacanang are all political issues and attack towards, of course, the other
defense.
side. Defense.
Defense.
Yes.
Kasi constantly under attack naman sila.
Yes.
Parang gano'n ang lumalabas.
Yes.
Pero, kumbaga yung image ng someone who's in control, whether good or bad, whether not he's doing a good job, is immaterial. Basta yung imahen lang ng may parang dati, di ba?
To a certain degree, to a certain extent, yes. Alam mo, Sir Lord, lagi kong sinasabi sa mga pronouncement ko, less politics, more governance. At ang governance dapat yung politika mo eh. Yun yung dapat na may trickle-down effect yung mga ginagawa mong policy adjustments sa maliliit na tao. At hindi kasi kung mapapansin natin, kung susuriin natin yung nagiging approach ng gobyernong ito, ay stopgap measures or band-aid solutions lang sa pagbibigay ng ayuda. At hindi talaga na-address yung long-term. Diba?
The idea of the ayuda itself is stopgap.
Exactly. So, the idea of the ayuda itself, okay, bibigay, pero ang tagal. Bigyan ka ng magandang example, Sir Lord, and I'm sure you covered this, yung pagbibigay ng mga ayuda doon sa mga transport groups. Isipin mo, bakit, ang hindi ko maintindihan doon, bakit hindi sabay-sabay na simultaneous? Bakit ito munang concentration sa Metro Manila, i-organize ng 500, 300? So,
may listahan pa.
May listahan pa. Of course, for purposes ng bureaucratic ng COA, naintindihan natin yan. Pero can it be done simultaneously? Kasi hindi lang naman yung taga Metro Manila yung may nangangailangan. So,
Or pasimplihin.
Exactly. Ang dami natin.
Mag-subsidize yung presyo ng gasolina para walang problema.
Exactly.
Pero hindi yun sexy.
Exactly. Exactly. So, you have to make hard decisions. Yung decisiveness yung hinahanap. And magtatapos na yung termino, and it seems na kapag may mga mabibigat na issues, parang very neutral, subtle yung nagiging dating ng ating Pangulo.
And mukhang ganun talaga yata yung personality. Pero ito yung klase ng personality ba na hindi type ng Pinoy?
Tingin ko hindi.
Kasi si Sara Duterte, mataas yung mga numero, kahit papaano, may pitik pa rin.
Very stable kasi kita natin yung Duterte branding. Yung Duterte
Brand
branding.
talaga, no?
It's a brand because the father, former FPRRD, basically was able to successfully convert the brand to Sara or to Baste or basically to the whole Dutertes. Yun yung pinuhunan at pinundasyon ng ama patungo doon sa mga anak.
Ito bang impeachment may magagawa para sa pagtitibag nung kung ano man ang brand na solidify na yon?
tingin ko, hindi kasi meron ka ng 30, meron na silang 30 to 35% na kahit na anong gawin mo, yun na yun. Yun yung talaga
Pero marami nagsasabi
political base nila.
na yung ceiling na yon, delikado yun. Kasi hindi ka na lalaki, mag-aalago pa beyond that.
Maaaring oo, maaaring hindi. Kasi tip of the iceberg lang yung nakukuha pagdating sa survey. Kasi alam naman natin, survey is, randomly, Greater Manila area, some parts of Balance Luzon, Balance Mindanao. So, hindi talaga siya reflection. Kasi doon yun magre-refer kung bakit nanalo si Bam at saka si Kiko. So, hindi sila lumalabas consistently sa survey. But, sino yung nagpanalo sa kanila? Hindi naman nasa survey yung mga nasa universities, yung mga middle class basically. So, doon, it's considered to be a protest vote, but at the same time, targeted siya. So, doon, hindi mo talaga makikita yung buong universe doon sa 30 to 35%. So,
Curious ako, yung sa mga estudyante mo, of course, wala kayong pasok ngayon, ano? Pero, ano ang political leanings nila? Are they to use na, alam ko, napakababaw, very shallow classifications. Mas DDS ba sila o mas pink or yellow?
Ako, in terms of observing our students, they're very vocal. They're very vocal. They're very particular about what is actually happening. But you also have to bring them back to history ng kung ano talagang political dynamics na nangyayari. Kasi yung narrative ngayon, yung now more than ever very dangerous to eh. Yung narrative na pinaglalabanan ngayon is sinong narrative or kaninong narrative ang magpe-prevail.